Hi, y'all. I'm live, and we're going to be speaking and discussing good and evil according to the Corpus Hermeticum, or the interpretation, the way of Hermes. Good morning. So, is it still morning? Yeah. So, a lot of people have wanted to start learning alchemy and studying and things like that. And you have to start from the beginning of alchemy and study to truly understand and being able to interpret what certain words actually mean. So got to start from this, scratch, which is why I always recommend The Complete Idiot's Guide to Alchemy and a symbolism book. So, knowing that, when you try to pick up a book like this, you understand that there's different meanings for different words, and different words mean different things on different planes of existence. Okay. So the darkness on earth may be different than darkness in the ethers or the cosmos. And it could also refer to philosophical darkness versus physical darkness. So you got to kind of read between the lines and learn how to use the context clues, because a lot of this stuff is written in code to secure it. Okay. And a lot of it is written to sound more religious so that it's not taken away. Layla stayed home from school today. So it has to sound a certain way so that it can live on. And once you understand the meaning of certain words, you can translate it as you read it. So there's no problem. Okay, so good and bad, or good and evil. I've highlighted some stuff that I wanted to read to you guys. This is, if y'all have this book, it's on page 38. It is The Way of Hermes. Okay. It says, okay, so it's talking about good, the supreme good and evil. So the supreme good is not born in suffering. The supreme good is never here on the planet. Okay, so there is no supreme good on the planet Earth, just so you know. Okay, because the supreme good cannot suffer. There is no suffering at all. Where there is day, there is no night. Where there is night, there is no day. Therefore, the supreme good cannot be what is begotten. It is only unbegotten. So that means it can't be here. It can't be in physical form on the planet. Just as there are provisions of everything in the physical world, likewise, the supreme good permeates abundantly. So with this being said, it's like, in this way, the cosmos is good as it creates all things. It is good with regard to its creative aspect, but in everything else, it is not good, for it is subject to suffering and movement, and is the producer of beings who are destined to suffer. So it means that the supreme good is untapped potential. Okay, it is there for creation, untapped potential for creation of the cosmos. When the supreme good is basically untapped potential of to be created, it can't be good nor bad. It just is. Okay, but within man, the supreme good is limited by measure of evil. So for in a man, just a little evil is counted as good. And good for him is the smallest portion of evil. Therefore, he cannot be free from evil. Man cannot be free from evil. So goodness is ill used, it means evil. When goodness is used the wrong way, it turns evil. Okay. Evil is born when goodness no longer remains. Supreme good is only in the, the all or the universe or the cosmos. Okay. So basically it's saying, you know how in the Bible it says people are born in sin. All people are born in sin. That really means that all people are born with the capacity to create evil. Okay. So free will, your ability to create as the cosmos on the planet, like, you have wood, you have iron, you have glass, you have things to sharpen iron with, you have stone. Those things can be used to build a house or a weapon. It is up to the individual and what your true, what you want to do with those items is totally up to you. And as a nature, think of nature as the cosmos. Nature does not create weapons. It creates wood, iron, stone. Man then takes what they want from nature to create something that they choose to create according to their plans. Okay, so if you have evil plans, or if you want to do something that is not in the supreme good, because you can't, because you're born with a little bit of evil, and then from that it grows according to your way of thinking, your environment, the people who raised you, what you have to do to survive, et cetera, or just bad thoughts, So that is what good and evil is according to Corpus Hermeticum. Hey, and also the way that a lot of these words are interchanged in this book. If you have this book, remember when they talk about God, they're not talking about a being. Okay. They'll use the word Father God, Supreme Good, and God in 3 different ways. Okay. Father God would represent the cause, or it would represent the fire in the cosmos. Okay. God, when mentioned, would represent the all, or the complete masculine and feminine form of energy. Okay. So when you're reading this, you have to read it as a scientist or an alchemist, a scientist and an alchemist. You cannot read it in a religious way, because then you'll just get upset because you're like, God. And when they say Father God, they definitely separate the word Father God from the word God. There are 2 different aspects of the universe, masculine and feminine, the law of gender. Okay, all goes back to the law of gender. So that's why it's very important to understand that the law of gender plays a huge role in understanding God or the universe. Okay, in order to understand the universe in a profound manner, you must understand masculine and feminine energy. You must understand that there are 2 types of energy that create the all. And once you understand that, you are able to understand and interpret so much more automatically. So when you're able to understand the universal laws and see them in nature, see them in the cosmos, see them within yourself, everything starts within. Everything starts within. Then you look outward. So if you yourself understand masculine and feminine energy, masculine and feminine roles, masculine and feminine law of universe within, then you can understand everything else. But it starts from within. And that's what the Corpus Hermeticum speaks about. Start within, then go without. And if you start within, knowing thyself will allow you to begin to understand God or the cosmos. Okay. If you don't know yourself, you will never understand the cosmos. You will always have a hard time with it. Um, you will always try to look at it from a dualistic point of view instead of one. That's why in all these new movies and all these new cartoons, every time the man goes on an adventure or a hero, he's always got a girl with him. He's always got a dragon. The woman always is holding on. Even in Aquaman, the girl had to be with him. That represents the negative and the positive energy that has to form as one plasma or gamma ray to leave the planet and go back into the cosmos after transition or death. Okay. So you need both of those energies. You need to understand the law of gender. You need to be um, in complete understanding that both and that there's only two, because you never see a third wheel. You never see one. You always see two. So you have, yeah, the yin yang. Exactly. You have to understand that. And I feel like, yeah, red and blue make purple. Exactly. So once you realize that, it doesn't even have to be a lover. It can be brother, sister. It could be cousin, aunt. It just has to be a masculine and a feminine. That's it. It has nothing to do with, oh, you have to be in love with someone. It has nothing to do with that. So it does create probably a stronger bond. And if two people know who they are and what they are and their purpose, but let's just face it, most people aren't going to know that. Most people aren't going to get to that point of their spiritual studies to even get to that point, but they do see it in the movies. And so most people just copy and follow what they see, which is exactly why people are doing it. So hopefully people will open their eyes and try to use universal law to see things, okay? Because just as that form of universal law, is in place, so are other forms. And alchemy is also in place, which allows any creator or person to try to transmute or change what is. So this is the great work to keep on your path, not other people's path. Because once you get sucked into what other people are doing, then you start following their path versus your own path and your own understanding, which is where then things can be altered and changed with not the supreme good, but more of evil things. You know what I'm saying? So if someone has what they call an agenda, let's break down these words. If someone has an agenda, to me that already sounds evil. What's your agenda? Like what are you going for? If people have an agenda and they want to trick you into a certain thing, they will present it in a certain way and use universal law to do it. Okay, so this is why you have to know it for yourself. Know thyself, then know this. Then you can see the tricks and how people trick you and how people can do this and that. And because they mix the truth with the lies. And when you do that, it feels true. It sounds good. It can be backed up in many things. But if you don't know yourself, if you don't know hermetics, if you don't know universal law, then you will be tricked. Okay. And that's all, And it's so easy to trick people nowadays because they don't do research. It is so easy to be evil. It is. It's easier to be evil than it is to be good because people are dumb. And the funny thing about it is that most of the people that think that they know a lot are the easiest ones to trick. I'm just sitting here like, dang. But I'm good. I'm really good internally I do have evil streaks in me, but it is so easy to be evil. It's because y'all make it so easy. The people in the world make it so easy. The people that, don't know themselves make it so easy. But it's not your fault. It's just that either A, you don't have time, B, you're too busy working for somebody else, or C, you don't care, you know, and no one ever taught you. So the whole point is to try to get the knowledge for yourself, you know? Mhm. Mhm. Exactly. Like I really don't like when people read headlines and believe that news. I really don't like that because to me, okay, you depend on the news source to be honest and true, but you know that they're lying. And but you try to pretend like they're not when you see the news because naturally you think people have good in them and that, oh, they wouldn't do that. Yes, they do every day, all day, because money, play the game with some money. I'm not going to say money. I'm going to say greed. Greed will turn a good person evil. Um, but money in itself is just energy. Okay. It's just like the supreme good. That's why I say in God we trust on money. The supreme good can be used to do anything. I can take this money and give it to someone that's hungry, or I can take it and go buy some lipstick, a lottery tickets. I don't really play lottery, but I could go buy something stupid, Um, so this money is like the supreme good. Whatever you use it for is what creates your evil. Okay. So a lot of people, yeah. And I wouldn't say the love of money. I would say the greed that festers inside man is the cause of evil, is the evil. Okay. So money is not evil at all because I can take this money and burn it. And then what? Is that evil? Somebody would say it would be, but then right after they said money is the cause of evil, if I burn it, then they would say I'm evil for burning it because it could have went to something better. Contradiction. Okay, so understand that money is energy. Money is the supreme good, which is what energy is, or potential, a potential abundance. Okay, what you do with this determines how good or evil you are. Okay, so that's it. Speaking of good and evil, the reason why we have evil in us is because we have free will in our own mind, and we are not the cosmos, and we are not nature, but we are a conscious being, you know, in this experience. Okay. That has the ability to also create. So that in order to become the supreme good, it's kind of like in the Bible when Jesus said, sell all your earthly possessions and follow me. No one's going to do that. Okay. Nobody's going to do that. Why? Because you can't resist the evil of the thriller. No mere mortal can resist the evil of the thriller. So that's exactly what that last line means. No mere mortal, you are not in your God form yet, can resist the evil of the thriller. The thriller is the experience. You need, in order to be thrilled, you have to have senses. You have to have touch, taste, smell, abundance. So you're not able to resist your senses. Okay. So experience it and try to be as less evil as you can, or At least split it down the middle if if that's your job. But by understanding it, by understanding that, you can balance yourself, right? And you understand what you're doing. And you understand you are in the physical form. And that's why you see a lot of people who are giving up their thrills. And I'm only going to touch on this for a little second. You're going to see a lot of people giving up their thrills and their attachments and their fame and their fortune and their reputation, because it's hard to let go of something when you've identified yourself with it so closely. Okay. So it's easy to give up things when people no longer expect you to have them or represent them. Okay. So y'all know the video Smooth Criminal, when MJ was walking up the stairs and the lady took his wallet. That was representative of, before you ascend or before you rise out of your body as the plasma to return to the universe, you can't take physical things with you. You can't take this money with you. You can leave it to your children so they can live a comfortable life, because I'm not saying be broke. I'm saying give it to someone who needs it after you leave. He gave it to that lady. That lady needed that money. And then if you watch the video Smooth Criminal, he has the fight in heaven, the fight between the angels and stuff on the second floor. That's what that represented. And when he comes back down, comes back down a little staircase. And when he returns and he starts dancing on the stage, he's like, goes right into his role. He's like, I know what I'm here to do. He starts dancing on the stage and he throws his money like, I know what money is. He learned, I know what money is. And he threw it to people like it was no big deal. Like he made it rain. That Michael Jackson was the first one to make it rain in Smooth Criminal. If y'all didn't see that. So he threw his money out and started dancing, which represented his life. He gave the most in charity than any other celebrity. And because he realized what money is for, is to do, he wanted to be more supreme good than evil. So he would give money out like that. But he was real smart how he did it. Man, that man was a super genius. I'll explain that another day. He was smart. He never really spent his own money. Anyway, back to that later. That was the evil side of him. That was the trickster side of him. That's why, he has the thriller where he's like half zombie and then you see him good and then you see him evil, because it's both. And the way he did it was the perfect balance, and it's hilarious once you hear about it. I'll tell that in another story. But basically, yes, the good, and then there's evil in you, and you create how much evil in you grows, or how balanced you stay, or how little you, project. I'll say that. Now, here's the thing, knowing your role in life can also help you stay balanced. It can also help you stay balanced. So knowing a purpose, having a purpose, creating a purpose will also help you stay balanced, because an idle mind, what they say, is the devil's playground. That means if you don't have a direction or a purpose or a great work or something that you're passionate about, you're going to, stray. And in that straying, you may find your purpose, but you also may, encounter a lot of evil or a lot of bad people that will turn you a certain way, and then you'll be off balance. So it's all about being either choosing to be balanced, because if you're too good, you will not get the full essence of experiencing physical life in a body. That's why you can't be so good that you don't get to experience this experience. So I'm not saying you should be a saint, because even saints have secrets. All I'm saying is you should try to balance it out and try to make sure that you understand what good and what money is and what the supreme good is and what evil is. And that you don't go to hell if you do more evil. What happens is if you do more evil, when you decide to leave, or no, when your essence or your plasma or your soul decides to leave the planet, it doesn't know anything. It's not balanced. It can't pierce through the veil. It can't join the supreme good if it's mostly evil in its essence. So therefore, you have to either be balanced and know and be able to let all that crap go about, what you did, who you were, and just be wanting to be back with source energy, because you are a source of energy. You know what I mean? So as above, so below. You're a source of energy, and that's it. And in order to return to source energy, you must understand that in completeness, and that you're just here to experience things with your senses, and you're given free will. You do have a little bit of evil in you, but that is only to experience the physical. So make sure you understand that, So y'all know I always throw MJ in there with the Thriller. No one can resist, no mere mortal can resist the evil of the Thriller. That's true. So, but if you think about that video, he goes in and out, in and out, in and out. Like 1 minute he's a zombie, 1 minute he's good, 1 minute he's helping people, 1 minute he's a werewolf, 1 minute he's doing this, 1 minute he's taking her home. Then he turn around and he has eyeballs looking like the werewolf. So it's about the balance. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So make sure you understand that. And he understood it. He understood it. That's why he made such great music, because you have to have both in order to fully understand it and fully enjoy it and fully give it up. Because if you don't understand something, you always feel like you're missing something. Oh, I wish I would have been bad. I'm about to die. I wish I would have, did this and that, to an extent where it doesn't really hurt people. So I feel like exploring both sides, knowing both sides, being dark, being light, being good, being bad, being evil, being good. As long as you have a balance, there are people that have done bad things or considered bad, but not illegal. There are people that have done wrong to people who may have deserved it, and other people perceive it as evil. It just depends on how you see it in your mind, how you feel about it, how you vibrate about it, and how satisfied you are with this experience before you leave and what you learned. That's kind of really what it's all about. Mm-hmm. Mhm. Yeah. So, yeah, earth can't be heaven because there is suffering here. Heavens are the cosmos. Those are the heavens. That's where there's no pain because you have no senses. Therefore, you can't feel pain. So, you can't burn where there is no senses. Unless you're light and you're a source of energy and there are no senses nor pain. So if anything would be considered hell, it would be the planet. It would be Earth. It would be this life in general. So whenever someone condemns you to hell, just like, you too, it's like you're already here. But it doesn't matter because everyone suffers. You fall and scrape your knee, you're suffering. When you feel a hunger pain, you're suffering. When you give birth, you're suffering. When you have an itch, you're suffering. Okay? So anything that you can feel that causes you any type of discomfort is suffering. Every day you suffer. When you comb your hair, if it's tangled, you suffering. So if you taste something nasty, you're suffering. So the only time you don't suffer is when you don't have a body and when you're in plasma form or energy form. So that's what that means. Um, when you guys read these books, don't read them literally, interpret them. Use your context clues. Because people I told you guys, when I bought this book, I wasn't ready for it. But I bought it. And I set it down for a few years and I picked it up and I perfectly understood it. There's more learning you have to do before you can interpret certain things. So just don't give up if you don't understand the book. Keep it and go back to it. You know? Don't we go through a judgment phase in the afterlife and reflect on what we've done in this life? If you choose to, yeah. If you're balanced, you don't need to be judged. You know what I'm saying? If you're balanced, what's the judgment? If you do judge yourself because you judge yourself and you see where you need to make improvements, then if you decide to reincarnate or come back, then you choose circumstances in order to work on those things that you feel like you need to become more balanced in. You know, that's why when a lot of people ask me about suicide, I'm like, well, you'll just be back to suffer until you figure it out. You know, um, right. So yes, go back to the authentic meaning of certain words, and also you have to use your context clues when reading certain texts because they do put them in ways that you need to decode them. Not, I know people ask, well, why do they do that? Because it has to be hidden. It has to be hidden. That is the whole point of going within. If everything was on the surface, no one would even think. I mean, everything, there is so much information out there on the internet and people don't even Google. So that's the same thing. If people go within, they'll discover themselves. And once you discover yourself, you're able to discover everything else from that point. That's why a lot of people talk about the agenda in Hollywood to create certain aspects of, people and genders and stuff like that. And that's true. If you don't know who you are and what you are inside, internally, universally, as above, so below, then you'll never figure out the rest ever. Now, I'm not saying being gay or anything is wrong. All I'm saying is knowing masculine and feminine energy is universal law, is what you're supposed to know. you know. So if they confuse you that way, and I think, if they confuse you in what your gender is, then you can't ever figure out the cosmos in order to escape and become back one with the source, or to do whatever you want, go other places. So once you can't figure out what you are because there's a block there, then you'll never be as above, so below. You'll just be below, because there is no above in certain aspects of gender. There's only two above. So in your thinking, there should only be two below. Now, whatever you choose to do in your spare time is your own free will, but mentally, you got to understand that. Okay. Right. But aren't we feminine and masculine in one body? Yes, but you also have to understand that there are two. Even in it's two, there are two aspects, not just one. Okay. Not three, not four, but two. That's why your brain has hemispheres. That's why you have two arms, two eyes, two nostrils. Because as within, so without, as above, so below. You know, where everything comes together is your head, right here. Okay, so you have to understand that. Hmm. Riddles for days. Right. Right. You can't move forward without knowing this. You know, people will change your knowledge by making something popular or acceptable. And I'm not saying you shouldn't treat people the way you don't want to be treated, but in universal law, you must keep that in the back of your mind. Just like scientists will be out here all day, every day trying to prove something. But if they have a core belief or a core spirituality, they hang on to that and they separate it from the science. Okay. Because they don't want to mix the two because they have nothing to do with each other. Okay. So if you can do that, let's just say, for example, if you are a trans person or a gender X is what they're calling it. Understand that there's two genders in the universe, and whatever people have created mentally on the planet is not the same as what it is in the universe. Point blank. So if as long as you understand that in your mind and your head, do whatever you want to do on the planet. But when you go into self, understand that there's two. That's it. Okay. Um, that's right. I mean, women do it all the time. Women do it all the time. We get up in the morning, put on a bunch of makeup, hair, clothes, waist cinchers, all that kind of stuff. And then we get undressed at night, back to what we were before. But we understand that no matter what we do, we're still a woman. Um, that looks like we look in the mirror, unperfect, you know, and all of that. So it doesn't really matter. Um, mhm, right. God is a hermaphrodite in spirit form, exactly, but not in physical form. In order to become a hermaphrodite in spirit form, your plasma energies are both masculine and feminine, right? So those energies are negative and positive. So when they leave your body, if those energies have been confused or turned more positive than negative, you're not going to be able to leave the ionosphere, is what I'm saying. So, for example, you know how you can charge crystals with energy and words because words are crystals. Crystalline, and we breath, ice, air, plasma, gas, water, droplets. Just how you can charge a crystal, you can charge also your own energy. So if you're charging your energy to be too feminine, or if you're a man, or too masculine, if you're a woman, then when your plasma leaves your body, your plasma is off balance. You ain't gonna be able to leave. You're gonna be stuck. And that's energy that what I call the people that have the agenda can use to power things, to create what they want, to keep you here, to keep the recycling thing going, to keep what I call the matrix going. So that's why they're pushing that. And just think about this: a long time ago, in the old days, when when people were in the closet, I'll say, when they were in the closet, you know, they may have felt certain ways or had sexual urges towards other people of the same sex, but their energy was still balanced. You see, so it doesn't matter what you prefer sexually; is your energy balanced? You see. Hmm. Hmm. That Lego movie looked very. The Lego movie Part Two, very telling. I saw the preview. Okay, right. The pharaohs did wear cosmetics, and a lot of those cosmetics were to look like a bird, Horus. If you look at a hawk's eye, they wore eyeliner and also helped reflect the sun away from their eyes to prevent blindness. But they painted their eyes to look like the hawk, the all-seeing. Okay. And the all-seeing from above so that they can see as God. That's why they had the serpent or the Kundalini energy rising as one. Okay, because in the caduceus there are two snakes, not one, but two. It turns into one up here when it leaves your physical form. The eyes were painted like birds because they see from above. So, yes. But you have to understand that. And I know it's pushed so heavily, but that's why they call it the agenda. It's a trap. Like I say, you can be what you want all day, but know in your mind so that you can stay balanced. Hmm. Right. Formless. Exactly. Formless is the plasma. Exactly. So, you watched Bird. You watched Bird Box. That's like 3 weeks ago. I'm glad you watched it though. Did you like it? I didn't watch Bandersnatch yet. Not yet. I've been too busy. I be reading. I be reading. I read all these books, and once I watch it, I'm sure that I'll be able to interpret it with no issue because I've been reading so much. Okay, I watch it. Okay. Um, watch Rihanna's new video. Okay, I'll check that out too. Yeah, you said they're trying to cause emotional damage. Yeah, that's another thing that you guys have to watch. Okay, emotional damage, like this whole R. Kelly thing is a trick. Okay, all they're doing is creating emotional issues, emotional energies, lowering your vibration just so you can get got. Okay, just so you can get got too. Um, so don't even fall for it. Don't listen to it. Who cares? It's old news anyway. And so many people hopped on that bandwagon, even so-called conscious people. So you know that they're still caught up in that emotion. When you caught up in emotion, now think about this. When you're caught up in emotion, you don't use logic. You just don't. And if you're gonna react and do something with no logic, you know it's dangerous. Okay. Um, wow, I need to start wearing my eyeliner every day. Well, you need to start wearing some sunglasses. um, right. Why do they want us here? Because you without us, there is no anything. We keep creating the matrix by being here. We energize it. Yeah. Um, I never watched it. Okay. Felt like, yeah, it would be triggering. See, yeah, if something triggers you and you know if there's a topic that triggers you, stay away from it. If you have a weakness, don't go around it. Just like alcoholics can't go around alcohol. Okay. So if you know there's something that causes you emotional issues, don't go around it. Use your brain. Hmm. Right. If you can't stand the news, don't watch the news. If the news upsets me, I don't watch it unless there's some type of weather I need to be aware of or I'm decoding it. When you watch it, you got to be in decoding mode. Um, is revenge necessary? Mm, here's my thing on revenge. If I'm doing better than that person who is hating on me or doing something wrong against me, they already been cursed or whatever. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause they're not where I am. So the best thing I can do is get better. You know what I'm saying? That's the best form of revenge. If you like it really is. And I know this sounds stupid and like cheesy, but if you stoop to their level and do something to jeopardize your freedom and your success, then you're stupid just like them. The best thing you can do is go and get some more money, go and get a better man if they stole your man, go and get a makeover or you lose 20 pounds and look 10 times better than them. Do whatever you got to do to better yourself because all that unwasted energy should be bettering yourself. And by bettering yourself, that's automatic revenge. Automatic. Right? So, for example, but most people don't care. They just want to hurt the other person. They want revenge. They want um, satisfaction in knowing that person has suffered. Meanwhile, they're suffering at the same time by worried about them. So I do believe in revenge if that is the only way to feel good about what someone has done. Like if somebody kills my child on purpose, that's cause for revenge. Okay. But if someone steals my husband, that's not no revenge. Like go ahead. Thank you for freeing me up for the next one. That's going to be 10 times better. So don't think about revenge unless it's absolutely necessary. Like for me, I don't care what anyone does. I don't need revenge on anybody unless they hurt me or my child. Then I'm gonna have to get you. But that's the only way. Don't hurt my kids, don't hurt my family members, and you good. Otherwise, you gotta go. And when I say hurt, I mean physically harm and do damage physically. I don't care which, whatever. But now you could do it, like you could seek revenge if that's what you want to explore. People need to explore their darker side, of course, in order to learn from it. Because if you don't know, you'll always wonder. So even if you've sought revenge for stupid, petty things, that's good because you've learned lessons. And that's what life is, learning. Okay? Mhm. Right. Then you go see how that vibrate will come back here. But if they can take him, they can keep him. Exactly. That should be most women's mentality. If someone has stolen your husband, you can't steal a person. You can't steal a person. They have to want to go. Unless they kidnap them at gunpoint. Okay? So don't think of it like that. If someone stole your man, he wanted to be stolen. Believe me. Okay? There's no such thing as stealing a man. Okay. Yes, I'm writing a song now. Thanks, boo. You did me a favor. Right, exactly. Next. People should know their dark side. Yeah. That way they know how they're going to react. That way they know how they're going to think. That way they can control it. You can't control something you don't know. Right? Have you ever gotten so upset that you did something totally out of character because you never explored your dark side and how far you would go? Now, once you explore your dark side and you know how far you will go, before you make the same decision again, you can think about how far you went or how far you thought about going, see the consequences, and then decide on another thing and another path and save yourself some drama and trouble. But at least you got the satisfaction of imagining yourself doing the bad, doing the evil. Okay. And sometimes that's just enough. Sometimes it's just enough to imagine going all the way and then never really doing it because you see the consequence in your mind. And you're like, well, that would be good revenge. But guess what? I don't have time to go to prison. I got, I have kids and a life. Okay. But it does give you the satisfaction in imagining what you would want to do. Okay. People not worth. Yeah, exactly. People, a lot of people aren't even worth it, and you'll laugh at yourself. Dang, I'm gonna be sitting behind bars because of some fool. No, I don't think so. While they're free, oh, I'm then you see who the dumb one is. Hmm. Right. Of course, you could get revenge without going to prison. Exactly. But think all the energy you used for that revenge could have been going to your abundance and the betterment of you. So, for example, let's say I was seeking revenge and I bought a bunch of spiritual supplies or I manifested revenge. All that time, money, and energy that I used to seek revenge on someone else, I could have been putting into myself to make myself rise higher. So, where I don't even remember that person's name anymore, or they have zero access to me. You know what I'm saying? So, so I'm saying I don't even remember any of my ex boyfriends' names except for like the first one because I've risen too high. Okay. So if you're still thinking about somebody from your past that's you're supposed to elevate from, if you still going back there, you didn't learn the lesson and you're doomed to repeat it anyway. And you're doomed to waste more energy on it. And you're doomed to keep going in that same lifestyle until you figure it out for, for your own rise. Hmm. Right. Of course, avenge like I said, if anybody harms an innocent person, like a child, or your family members physically, yes, seek revenge. What? Get them. Now, for petty, stupid things, let it go and rise higher. But those things that need vengeance, get it. Justice, exactly. Vengeance and justice, get it where it's absolutely necessary. Remember, no one can steal your man. Now, someone can harm you, your family, and your child physically, but they can't steal your man. Okay? The man has to want to go. And a lot of women feel like, oh, they stole my man. No, your man went with them willingly. Okay. So if you're in that mindset that someone took your man, remember that the man has to also agree to go. You can't kidnap a grown man as a woman unless you have a gun and a bunch of drugs. Okay. Or a ransom situation. So stop saying that lie to yourselves, ladies. No one stole your man, he left. Help, your man is stolen. Oh my goodness. Did you file a missing person report? That's what I'm gonna ask them. Next time somebody come and tell me somebody stole their man, I'm gonna ask if they have filed a missing persons report. Okay. So y'all are laughing at that. Exactly. If negative and positive merges together, inner marriage takes place, love and peace is the balance. Yeah, true. Um, exactly. So make sure that you're just understanding universal law and so that every agenda thrown at you does not physically, spiritually, or mentally disturb your balance. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Now, we can play on this planet in the physical senses all we like, as long as this is in deep understanding of what's above, so below, as within, so without. As long as we understand that, we can do whatever we want. As long as you're balanced here and you know what it is. So that's what I feel like a lot of the energies that are being released into the earth right now are going to play on. Y'all seen Bird Box. Y'all know the holes are in the ozone layer. Y'all know energy from the cosmos are getting in. And once these energies get in, they will affect you. And if you're not balanced, or what they say righteous means balanced, um, then you will be affected. Okay. In what way? We don't know yet. But I've seen some crazy stuff going down. Like I've been, and my kids have been witnessing, people are just going a little bit more cuckoo faster now. People are having less patience, getting more angry and upset, speaking their mind. I was at the movies in a really nice area, where we live. And this lady and man were on a date. Layla's gonna laugh. And of course, he paid for the popcorn and stuff. And he just popped off. Like, I'm not carrying your damn drink. You better pick that, SHIT up yourself. And I'm like, and it was like this older couple, like, and it was like they weren't super old, but it's like a white couple. And I'm like, um, okay. I wanted to tell him off for her, but I realized it's not my business, baby. Y'all go ahead. And then we were at the mall, like right in front of Books a Million, because I had to buy Layla a book. And this man was up in his wife's face. It's like, a little soccer mom, up in her face in the parking lot. And she was like, "Don't you yell at me." I'm like, "Ooh, it's gonna be a fight." And I'm like, "Y'all are acting like crazy. This has never happened." I'm like, "Y'all are acting a fool." I was waiting on see what's gonna happen. But he like backed down and realized people were watching. And they had kids and a baby and all that kind of stuff. Crazy. I'm like, I better watch this energy that's getting into the atmosphere. Don't let those emotions get to you. You gotta be like me and don't care. Act like you don't hear. Like, just don't care anymore. Just don't care. You can't care if you're gonna get triggered. Like if your spouse or your partner picks a fight, if that's what triggers you, you can't get triggered by it. You're like, oh well. That's why all these people are killing their mates and husbands and kids and wives, because once you get triggered with this energy, there is no bounds because it's limitless. Okay, and a surge enters you. Okay, so you got to understand that. Right now, stay away from the stuff that causes you emotional issues. That's why that R. Kelly stuff is so stupid. Stay away from it. It's triggering a bunch of people. The internet is flooded. Who cares? Do you care? Are you going to put money on R. Kelly's books? Who cares? There's people that's been doing that for years who you don't even know their name. They could be sitting right next to you. Elvis married a 15-year-old and had baby. Okay. Y'all ain't on him. Donald Trump just named Elvis some type of influential person of history. But y'all ain't mad at Elvis. Okay, let's talk about Elvis. Elvis married a 15-year-old. What's his name? Jerry Lee Lewis married a 15-year-old. No, 13-year-old cousin. They still up in the Hall of Fame. Where R. Kelly at? They just made you see yourself or your mirror image as your own enemy. Okay. So that's what they're going to trigger you to see yourself as, yeah. So stop doing all of that. Who cares? Who cares? I mean, when I was underage, my boyfriend was old because I don't like young men. They can't do that. They ain't even full grown. My husband is old too. So, and exactly. And it, like, the whole point is it doesn't trigger me emotionally. It might trigger other people emotionally. That doesn't trigger me emotionally. Yeah. Hmm. Anyway, Layla, are you in there eating? Right. 15-year-old in Hollywood. Exactly. Y'all act like that don't happen down the street. Oh, he got a car. You know, you're gonna be with somebody anyway, you know. Right? Um, Anywho, like that's why I don't get into it. It doesn't trigger me. I'm not gonna talk bad about any one of those dudes because I can talk bad about 100 other dudes on top of them that have done worse. And really, it doesn't trigger me. Um, I watched the new Charmed. I only had like 3 or 4 episodes. hmm Educating people will hide family misfortune. Educated people will hide family misfortune. The African American community is taught that calling family and friends out for negativity is the right thing to do instead of helping them. Exactly. Um, that's true. And the whole point behind that is, look, you know how to dial 911 yourself. Okay. If you need to dial 911, go get the phone and press 911 send. Okay. Don't depend on other people to save you. Save yourself. That's my thing on it. Okay. You know how to do it? Do it. Okay. Don't depend on other people to save you. Yes, some people may cover it up. And then you're going to walk around blaming them when you could have blamed yourself for not dialing 911. Okay. So take charge of your own life. If you're triggered by that, you should have been dialing 911 long time ago. Okay. They teach you stranger danger. They teach you inappropriate being touched is inappropriate at, in certain places. You know what the difference. You could have called. And most people would. Or you could have told a school nurse. Or you could have done all of that. And I'm not trying to blame people for anything. I'm just saying you have free will. That's what this whole thing is about. You got free will. Do what you want. Okay. I don't care about fear and brainwashing. Doesn't stop anybody. It's approval. It's wanting approval. Which one do you want more? You want to be approved of by your family, or do you want which one it's that you're judging yourself at that point in time. You're judging yourself right there. You're judging yourself. And whichever one wins out, that's the one you're going with. Okay. So self-love. This is why you need to understand what self-love really is. Self-love is preserving self. Most people have been taught to think about other people. If you love yourself, you're going to think about you first and foremost, and you're going to do what's best for you first and foremost. That's why it's so important to teach self-love to girls and boys. You would have already had your problem solved if you had loved yourself, if you were taught to love yourself, if you go within instead of looking without. And that's why parents need to learn so that they can teach their children. You know, um, I I've already talked about usually in the first 30 minutes. I've already talked about the subject. It's hard to teach what you don't know. Exactly. That's why the cycle has to end and you have to learn. Seek knowledge. If you don't know something, if you know you don't love yourself and you don't put yourself first, then you need to learn how, you know. Um, and don't wait. It's not too late. It's never too late to love yourself. Never. Um, yes, people can brainwash kids. Yes, people can do all of that. And um, but as a child, you already know right from wrong. You know that you should have did A, B, C, and D. Your opinion and your fear, like you said, of what other people will think about you from an external standpoint, is not self-love. It's looking without rather than within. So you got to teach your kids self-love. always. And that will solve many, many problems. Okay. There you go. Hmm. As a child, your father told me that he hate me and everybody in his life will hate. Everyone is going to hate you. Your internal intuition should have told you that was a lie. Okay. Right? You should have said, well, I don't care if everybody hates me. I love me. So that's all that matters. Right? Do you know how many people walking around hating someone, but that one person that they're hating on loves themselves so much that they don't even care or it don't even matter? So stop worrying about what anybody outside of yourself said or thought, because that's not you. Not right now, anyway. Not in the physical sense. That's not you. Hmm. Think about what you feel about yourself, and that's it. How does that work in a marriage for if your partner opposes what you want to do for yourself? Okay, first of all, your partner is not you. Okay. Therefore, you don't have to tell them a thing. Do what you want to do. If they got a problem with it, it's already done. Okay. Then their problem is dealing with it. Now it's not your problem anymore. It's theirs. You see? Do what you want. If they have a problem with what was already done, they have to figure out how they feel about that problem, which has already been done inside of themselves. Now you've already done it, so it doesn't matter. You got what you wanted. Hmm. It's like, don't say, honey, what do you think about doing A, B, C, and D? Say, honey, I did A, B, C, and D. What do you think? Isn't that being a Jezebel, though? No, it's being your own person. Just because you marry someone does not release your authority upon yourself. You know, it's like, oh, guess what I did? I went out and bought a new car or this and that, or, what do you think? Really? I sure did. Okay, well, I get then y'all will start to compromise after you've already done. If you go and someone sees that they have power over you and every idea you put up, they're going to shoot down because they know that they have that power, then what? Then that's not a partnership. Go ahead and do what you got to do and then go tell them. Keep the receipt if it's a problem. Make them return it. Okay? But don't depend on someone else to make decisions for you. Make your decisions and then be like, so what you think? Don't do it the opposite way. Well, I think we should do this. Because if that was the case, my husband would be driving an old beat up car instead of the car he wanted. Because if he's like, oh, well, what do you think I should get this car? I'm like, I don't like that car. That's not up to me. I ain't driving that car. That's his car. If I would have went and asked my husband what he thought about me buying a car that I like, I might be driving something else that I didn't want. Why? Because that's not their decision. Okay, make your own decisions and then talk about the decisions after they've already been made. Now, if it's a major purchase like a house or a move, of course, that's going to change people's lives. So, yes, discuss that first. But other stupid, small, little things, do what you got to do. Okay, no one owns you. Make them think they're his ideas. Exactly. Now, when you get into the manipulation and power of suggestion and all of that, great. You can make those ideas think that they were his, of course, to keep the peace. But if you're past all that and you've been married forever, it just do what you got to do. Mhm. What does Jezebel mean? Well, just go look it up online. It's like, a woman that kind of does what she wants to do. It's a free woman, a seductress. Hmm. Um, but it's his money. Shouldn't you discuss it first? Um, if you're married, it's y'all's money. Okay. So if you got a contract, it's y'all's money. I'm just saying what's legal. I teach my daughters that all the time. Yep. Do you still do Sometimes I do, not as much, because people ask me for the dumb type of spells that I don't do anymore, like um, things that aren't going to be beneficial to them, you know. And men don't get stolen. Most people that come for me for spell work are confused. Somebody stole your man. No, your man just left. So if it's about a man, some type of love, I don't do. Success spell, yeah, I do prosperity spells every Thursday live on YouTube, and yeah, you can purchase that spell work, which is a group spell working live. Um, Just go to my about section on my YouTube channel and click on my email. Only for serious inquiries, otherwise I'm gonna delete it. hmm Um, what if the man stole your kids? How do you have a man can't steal your kids? That's another thing. Like, unless he kidnapped them and you didn't call the authorities, a man can't steal your kids. Okay. So then call the police. That's how you do that. I mean, that's obvious. Go call the authorities, put out an Amber Alert. Okay. Then I don't know what country you live in if the police aren't taking kidnapping serious. hmm I don't see that email. Just it says show the person's email. You have to click on that. Uh-huh. Or you can hit, yeah, it says click on this for their email. Uh-huh. No man can steal kids. Right. Either he was appointed custody. Well, if that's their dad and they can't be kidnapped, if he has custody, they ain't kidnapped. You know what I'm saying? That would be like if I took my kids and left because I was being beaten. I'm not kidnapping. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Someone says get a lawyer. You have to fight for custody now. hmm So basically, what you have to do is file for divorce and try to get custody. hmm Someone says pick them up after school. Already divorced. So does he have custody? Y'all have to be careful when y'all get these divorces now. Y'all got to be smart. Most people don't even think. If he has split custody, he's not kidnapping. Then you need to call the police. No, call the FBI. Call the FBI. They're better at kidnapping. hmm Um, that's my best thing. Call the FBI. Give them the license plate number, name, what happened. The alphabet boys. Mhm. Um, there must be some type of legal thing that they can't get around if they're not taking it seriously. You know what I'm saying? And plus, they're gonna ask how long they've been gone. And did you leave them? Because if you left them for more than 2 weeks, legally, you gave up custody. Okay, so you really got to think about if you left your kids for over 2 weeks on purpose, you have legally given up custody. That's law. You got to know the law. Well, you need to call a lawyer for sure. They will tell you exactly how to get, even they have free law pages online where people will chat with you about what to do. Because, like, you need a lawyer. Definitely need a lawyer. Hmm. Exactly. Someone says she needs to file a report at your local police station. Yeah, file a report. Legal aid. Okay. So there you could go get help with legal aid, filing a police report, and getting, some information legally of what you can do. I'm sorry that that happened to you, but you need to figure out how to get them back if, you know. Mhm. Okay. So that's why I don't really get involved in those type of cases because there's always stuff missing from the story. Always. So I suggest doing it the legal way. Hmm. Um, I mean, the best way to track someone is to hire a private investigator. If the police aren't going to get involved, you pay somebody, they're going to help you. Right. Hire a private investigator. And as soon as they're registered into a school, they will know. Right. Hmm. Um, yeah, find a private investigator. They will search any kids that have been registered into school. You can't register kids into school without a birth certificate. So unless he has their birth certificate, they haven't been registered into school. Once he attempts and tries, they keep that record. Mhm. And if he doesn't register them in school after a certain amount of time, then he's liable because they're supposed to be in school. So you can get a lot of people involved after he legally breaks the law doing that. Yeah, truancy. Um, but anyway, like I said, I hope you have good luck with that. I hope the best for you. Um, so this is the book that I got the information from in the beginning about good and evil. And just to recap, evil um, is in man, is in all men and women. Depending on how much you have, depends on how evil you are. Supreme good is not in physical form. Supreme good is basically potential um, in the cosmos. It would represent money in earth. Now, what I do with this money is up to me. I could give it to the poor, the starving, or I could go buy drugs or alcohol with it, or I could burn it if I chose to, or I could, you know, split it in half and give five to someone hungry and then go buy something else. So it's the same thing. Make sure you understand that all people are born with what they call evil or sin, because we're in physical form. We need things to survive. We have to experience suffering in order to be motivated to move. You can only suffer in a physical body. You can't suffer in a formless shape or a formless body because you don't have any senses. So, from the back, when we come out of our mother's womb, what do? We cry. We want to eat. We're hungry. We need to possess the means to eat. Okay, we have to survive. We're suffering in hunger. That's why we need money to eat. We're suffering in, not being loved or touched. That's why we need nurturing from a mom. We need other things. That is where evil comes in. When you need things to calm your suffering. So then people come and say, well, even though my suffering is calm, I want more. Then greed comes in, and then ulterior motives and agendas come in. So once you have ulterior motives, agendas, that's when the evil inside a person increases. Now they can balance it out by doing what's right or what's righteous or what's balanced. Like I said, they could split this and it's like, oh, well, I can afford to have what someone says Fendi, but I'm going to take this. Let's just say this was a lot of money, but I'm going to take this and split it. And I'm going to buy my friend this purse and I'm going to buy myself this purse. It might not be the purse that I wanted, but she's happy. I'm happy. I feel good. Or I'm going to take this and I'm going to have to the children's shelter. And then I'm going to go buy me, this purse instead. I feel good about my actions. Now, or you could just take the whole thing and buy Fendi and go volunteer, because time and energy and money is the same thing. Go volunteer at something and do something nice if you want to balance that out. Or you could raise awareness instead and say, people need to really realize this and go help these people. It's the same thing. Energy in any form can balance another energy. Okay. So understand that you don't have to do something good in order to do something evil. If you choose to be evil and live in your evilness and experience your physical lower vibration or darkness, you have to, in order to know it and recognize it when it comes against you, when you're experiencing your goodness. That way you know how to balance it straight up with no issues and no fear. So that's what people are, probably doing at this time in their lives, and they try to balance their lives out. You got to know bad before you can even attempt to be good. That's basically it, right? There are spiritual concepts, and only on earth, once you raise out of your physical form, your depending on your life here, your spiritual form could be unbalanced, and it will never be able to return to source unbalanced. It can't. So it will remain a separate energy, okay, or a trapped energy in the planet because it's unbalanced. Until it balances itself out or reincarnates and balances itself out, it can't return to the supreme, not the supreme, the source energy, because it ain't balanced. And when I say balanced, I mean there needs to be more understanding, more knowledge, more understanding of universal law within it to also balance itself out scientifically. Masculine and feminine, the universal law of gender, it's balance. And all is mental. So knowing is what's going to get you balanced. Knowing. Not believing, but knowing. Right? Right. And that's basically it. Just got to know thyself, as above, so below, as within, so without, or otherwise you'll be trapped. Hmm. Um, what do you think of Opanopanopono? Is that it? What is that? Hmm. I can't pronounce it. Hmm. Thank you. Evil and good didn't exist before Christianity, right? There was just there was either balance. Like think about most native traditions and most native cultures or indigenous cultures to the planet. They all lived in like villages. They all had like tribes, and they had their own individual rules that worked within that tribe. Okay, and they would balance each other out that way. They would have their own checks and balances. Um, and it wasn't over a huge mass of people. It was over smaller tribes and villages and things like that because everybody is different and things don't work the same over here as they work over here. And it's the same. People aren't the same. People don't have the same morals and ethics and needs. So, in order to, they were more self governed rather than governed like by a government. So, um, it's just it's flawed because it's too big and it's too um, general. People govern themselves. And once you start understanding that you govern yourself, that's when a lot of people stray away from politics and man's laws unless they make sense, for the greater good. And then most people take it into consideration as guide, but they don't live by those things because those things aren't particularly created on a personalized level. So they will not give you the most benefit. That's up to you. That's why they say know thyself. Okay, that's Hawaiian for forgiveness. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Okay. That's a long word, but that's nice. Opa. Oh, pano, pano. Okay. Mhm. Okay, I left to look for email. Can't find it. Okay. You gotta be able to find that email if you want to email me. I'm so sorry. If you're not that smart, you don't need to be emailing me. Um, I'm just saying, okay, it's easy. Look very carefully. Go to the about section. Click on about. Read everything down there. There's something you have to click on. Okay. I'm so sorry. You'll find it. Just keep looking, girl. Just keep looking. You have anxiety when you talk to my boyfriend about witchiness. Okay. And you should, because you shouldn't be talking to him about it. Shira, who can build a better life, our younger self or a cat woman? Um, I think your older self, depending on what you were doing and what you're doing now. Are you on the right path to knowledge? Are you ruled by your emotions or do you rule your emotions? That's your question. Ask yourself that. Then, if your future self you think is going to be better, go for that. Your past self may know more if you've gone off track, if you've fallen for, the tricks and the agendas. Hmm. Um, right. We make decisions to come into certain lives with certain parents to help us grow beyond vibrational space, and we're holding within the ether or help them grow beyond themselves. Well, and still we have free will. So it's both. It's both. You can always change your mind. Always. Hmm. What's your thought on necromancy? Do you think it's even possible? Of course it's possible. All the energy that's been trapped and that can't go anywhere of the dead. Y'all need to watch this video. Actually, I'm gonna hopefully I can have this guy on my channel. His name's Quincy. He was on Facebook. Um, and I saw a video about 5G and the dead that he did. He explained it perfectly. Um, that's what powers 5G, that energy of the dead that are trapped, the unbalanced. That's why they want all these people unbalanced because it's harnessed as energy. 5G, baby. Um, Someone says, hello. So if I can trap a bunch of people on the planet by confusing them about who and what they are, I will have endless power. 5G. It's a frequency. The spirit's energy is on. And once that frequency is tapped in a wireless form, it can basically enslave the dead. Yeah, that's what he talks about on his channel. It's like the dead are going to be enslaved. And that's why in the Matrix, like Quincy said on his video, that they revolt and rise up against the people because they don't want to be used as energy. So it is interesting. So necromancy is getting ready to be right on your phone, on your TV, on your computers, anything wireless, robotics, um, artificial intelligence. Exactly. Don't drink alcohol. I'm trying to tell y'all. On all the videos that I posted, like the people that are drinking, um, even on the Nas video with Swiss Beats, he says he's gonna put this drink down at the end. I'm gonna put this drink down on what was that name of that? I forgot the name of it. It was a new one. But anyway, yeah. If you're a drunk, if you're heavily into drugs, you will definitely be affected. Is wine alcohol? In moderation, if you don't get drunk, let's just put it this way. If you don't drink to get drunk, you're fine. If you drink and get drunk, you ain't fine. How about that? So, is weed a drug? Does it cause any side effects such as depression, paranoia? Right. Oh, Echo by Swiss Beats. That's right. That's right. Echo by Swiss Beats. And then that song with Janelle Monáe that I posted yesterday on the community section. They were all drinking in the beginning, and that one girl threw up, and they were all drunk. There were bottles surrounding them, and they had to go run and hide. So just think about certain things and what you're looking at in entertainment, because they always trying to tell you something. Always. If you're still addicted to something, if you have to be drunk or high to exist in this world, then that means you don't want to be here. Just think about it. Just think about it. If you drink one glass of wine, two glasses of wine, not to be drunk, but to relax as a, relaxing thing. If like people that want to smoke weed, if you smoke 2 puffs of weed and put it out to calm down and go to sleep as a medicine, you good. But if you smoke a whole blunt or drink a whole bottle of wine, you really don't want to be here. And that's exactly what the agenda is doing, is to take out people that don't want to be here. Take out people that are useless to society, who are more of, don't even have to, who have to actually be high to find purpose or accept themselves on the planet. So just really think about that for a second. Just really think about it for a second. If you have to get high and drunk to be happy, then you don't want to be here. So maybe she'll free you. Maybe the energies will free you of your pain and suffering back to the supreme good. Okay. So really just pay attention. Now, some people don't care. Some people do. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. Yeah, she's saying one glass or two is I'm saying don't get drunk and don't get high. You know what I'm saying? If you get so drunk, it means you're numbing your pain, which is a signal to the universe. I don't want to be here. I'm in pain. Free me from the suffering, which is exactly what these energies are going to do. Just like on Bird Box, you know, free me. Just remember before on Bird Box when she said, I got to go get a bottle of wine. Her sister, y'all missed that. She was getting her ultrasound. And the sister was like, we're going to go to lunch and get a bottle of wine, not a glass of wine. And then the doctor repeated, a bottle? I believe I heard a bottle. And then as soon as the Bird Box stuff hit, the sister, the first one to jump in front of the truck because she needed a bottle. You see? So pay attention. Just pay attention. And then when they offered Sandra a drink while she was pregnant, they gave her this much little alcohol to sip. They were showing you things. She took it and was okay. She didn't get drunk. She didn't drink a bottle of nothing. She drank this much to calm her nerve. But that's it. If you need to be drunk, if you need a bottle of something, if you need a blunt, then you don't want to be here. Those energies are going to pick up on that and be like, take them out. So just really think about it. That's all. And remember in the beginning of that Janelle Monáe video, the one girl that got taken at the end was the one that drank so much she threw up. She overdid it. Remember? She was trying to escape, so they got her. Okay. See, what you do, you don't even realize. So, for example, if you're trying to escape this reality, they're going to help you escape this reality. You understand? How do you heal your pain and stop? You will never heal your pain. You have to learn how to deal with it. As long as you're in a physical body, you will always have pain. Always. Emotional pain. Hunger is a pain. Tiredness, that's a pain. You have to learn how to deal with it. Balance it out with something that causes you pleasure. Like, and that releases endorphins. Everything is science. Transmute your pain with chemicals in your brain instead of chemicals from without. Exercise releases endorphins. Chocolate. Get you some candy. Find a way to make yourself happy without having to escape. That's all I'm saying. That's the balance. Because think about it. What comes from being drunk? Stupid actions. What comes from being high? Missed opportunities. So that's why a lot of, celebrities, they have to give you both ends of it. They have to give you the choice. Otherwise, it's not of the cosmos or of the heavens. You must be given the free will. All things must be presented to you in order for you to choose. And according to what you choose is your balance. So can sex be an addiction? It sure can. If you can't function without it, if you don't feel like you're living without it, then of course your vibration is going to switch and they're going to come take you too. But it's more chemical. So, those things release chemicals in your brain. Find another way, like chocolate. There you go. You might get fat, but you're gonna be all right. Just go get on a treadmill. Okay. Um, sure. What is your thoughts on signs? They are mostly true, but change when my mind is. Yeah, everything changes. Nothing stays the same. So all is mental. Once you're aware of something, then everything changes. Hmm. Is eating meat good or bad? It depends on how you think about it. Like I said, look at nature. Cosmos created the nature. Okay. You ask the cosmos. Um, that's all I'm gonna say. Like, if cosmos created nature and animals in nature eat meat, and then you're created as well, but you have free will. Think about the free will. The free will. Balance is the key. So it is your choice, but you can also be balanced. You can go one way all the way, you can go another way all the way, or you can be balanced. So it doesn't matter. Whatever you feel is your balance, that's what you need to do. Hmm. Um, right. Take care of your liver, your kidneys, all those good things. Y'all, in the old days, in the Egyptian days, they would look at your kidney to judge you, you know, because it said whether you are gluttonous, if you indulge too much in the alcohols or the drugs, they would look at them kidneys. That's how they would be judged. That's why they were one of the sacred organs as well. So just think about it. Hmm. Hmm. Right. And do y'all remember the Janelle Monae video that I posted? I can't even remember the song. Something about fire. Hold on, let me look it up real quick because it's about fire. The title of the song is something fire. If y'all remember it, just type it in there until I find it. No, it's not. Who is that? Who's sneaking around back there? Oh, yeah, screwed in the fire, or what's it called? Hey, Layla. Oh, yeah, it's this one, screwed. So yeah, so she's saying, like, do you remember when they were walking out and there were some papers on the ground and like all the people were looking in the ground and that one girl was just looking away and looking up and looking for something else, and the other people got distracted by looking at the ground. That was their grounding. They were grounded. And the other girl was like, and that's the one that wanted to escape, the one that was drunk and throwing up. She's the one that wanted to escape, basically. So you got to look deeper into some of these videos because they're telling you everything they do has a purpose. Because in order to make a video, you have to direct it. Every scene is strategic. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Well, thank you all for watching. I'm going to go down. I'll probably go on my other channel in a little while. But I just wanted to break down the meaning of good and evil via the Corpus Hermeticum and or the ways of Hermes, the way of Hermes. It's a translation of the Corpus Hermeticum. So that you guys will have a better understanding of it and in this time when it is most needed. I try to put things in perspective in the timeline that they're most needed because a lot of spiritual information is no longer really useful at this time. Learning about certain things are not going to help you right now. So I feel like universal law, balance, knowing the difference between why there are no 100% good human beings. And only supreme good is when you are void of a body and you have returned and you are balanced and you have returned to source energy. That is supreme good. That's it. Okay. Everyone on the planet has evil in them. They have free will. Depending on what you want to do determines your balance of good and evil. Basically, yin yang. Exactly. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. And also watch your drinking, watch your drug use, because y'all, we're going to get to see a lot of stuff this year. Okay. People are going to start acting out. And I don't want I don't want to see y'all on the news now. I don't want to see y'all on the news. Okay. Get a hold of those emotions. And if you really want to stay here and be here, then act like it. Okay. Okay. That's it. And pay attention to like all the movies, to the little details that they put in there for no reason. Don't They're for a reason. Okay. Look beyond. Don't take things literal. Look deeper. Now you don't have to talk to people about it. You just have to know for yourself because that's what it's for you. And then if you love someone, you can tell them in your own words. Like I'm doing y'all. All right. So I will see y'all, and I'll hopefully be restocking because a lot of you guys have asked for the half ounce bottles. I'm getting ready to go restock those now on my Etsy page, Dark Realm, of all the elixirs and gold. I mean, not gold and silver, but all the elixirs. I do have the gold, the silver, and the copper out for supplements. I also have all my elixirs out. I'm about to introduce phase 5 very soon. So y'all keep a lookout for that. Phase 5 is supposed to give you that really good psychic insight. That doesn't mean you can tell the future. It just means you're going to be more in tune with what's going on. Okay. So I'll see y'all later.